The usage, the penetration in the United States is about 5% now. Now that's a little iffy because a lot of people go onto Twitter and say, oh, this thing's useless, and they get right back off again. They don't give it enough time. But again, here in the Coos Bay area, you're probably looking at about 300 to 500 people using Twitter. All right. So when you go out there and you start thinking about why would this be interesting for me, why would these two platforms be interesting to me, actually a large part of your customer group is already out there. So this is a good place to go and meet them. Okay. Yes, ma'am?
Do you know the demographics of both?
Only anecdotally. Twitter's or Facebook's demographic now, though the average age is over 34 now.
Yeah, it's somewhere between 35 and 40.
And the gender ratio is even. It's largely a college-educated group. Facebook was, in fact, until 2 years ago, an entirely, you had to be at a university to be on Facebook. But that's been loosened up, and the age level has gone up quickly. Twitter is a relatively new platform. It was adopted, really launched 2 years ago, or really got popular 2 years ago at a tech conference in Texas called South by Southwest.
In fact, the largest demographic on Twitter is the 45 plus.
Yeah. On Twitter? Or
Yeah,
Facebook?
Twitter.
It's 45 plus?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the majority of people use Twitter from work.
When people ask me about the demographic of Facebook, I say, here's my life. Both of my children are on it. My girlfriend's on it. My wife/girlfriend. My ex-wife is on it. My current wife and my ex-wife are friends on Facebook.
Danger, danger.
And both my parents are on Facebook. So, you know, I'm surrounded. But you know, there you can see the demographics are pretty general. Who's using Facebook? I just wanted to throw out a few examples. Oh, you're all on Facebook, right? Okay. So that's more than 20%. Can I see those hands again on Facebook? All right, see, that's everybody. That's near. Did you see that, at least 90%?
Sorry, I'm live blogging this at the moment. I'm just about to live blog up a photo of this half of the room, so you can see how quickly social media can work. Because it'll be up on my blog in a few minutes.
How many are you on Twitter? Are we preaching to the choir?
Yeah. I'll sit down in the audience and they can get up.
Yeah. Here's a town that I like. Last year I did this sort of same road trip. I went from Atlanta to New York and stopped in this little town called Onondaga, Virginia, which is about the size of, I guess, Charleston, maybe 4,000 people, 5,000 people. They've got a Fans of Onondaga, Virginia page where they communicate a lot of community news to each other via the Facebook page rather than the weekly newspaper. Okay, the weekly newspaper is struggling, it's having combined with another town's newspaper and stuff like that. So they got together and they said, well, we'll just put this up because this is a permanent record of the news that affects us all. So local businesses can announce their opening, the Lions Club can announce its garage sale, flea market, or whatever, and it starts to tie the community together. Okay.
So does each of those businesses have access to that page?
Yeah,
so like a group?
Because they joined and they say they're fans of Onondaga, and then they get the chance to write in and make comments, and that's how they announce themselves. Right. So that's one innovative use of Facebook for a small town, for example. This is an Argentinian steakhouse up in Northampton, Massachusetts. They have a Facebook page as well. Okay, so the steakhouse's website is like any other website. It has the menu. It tells where you got to call for reservations and all this. But here, you can't really read it. But here they're posting recipes. They're posting where they're sourcing their beef from this month. They're asking customers did they like the new sort of menu changes that they've had. They're trying to engage their customers. Okay, they're not so much engaged with prospects. Okay, these are tough economic times, and maybe getting new customers is not really an easy thing to do. But what you certainly want to do in tough economic times is hold on to the customers that are loyal to you. And by going on Facebook and giving those local customers a chance to become friends and fans, you're tying them that much closer to you. Okay, you're making sure that you're having a conversation with them, at least online. Maybe they can't come into the restaurant every week anymore. Maybe they can only afford to come once a month. Okay, but the economy will get better, and you want to make sure that when it does get better, they're coming back once a week again. One way to do that is to keep them involved through social media and keep that contact with them. Now, I'll just let you read this if you can. I know it's small print. I'm not going to read it to you because I know how irritating that is. But this is one of the owners of the restaurant explaining the results. Okay, he's talking about a 30% increase in revenue at a time when local restaurants are seeing 20% decreases in revenue. And as he says here, you know, I don't know if it's all because of, you know, we're doing all the social media stuff. But one, it can't hurt. All right. And since we can't afford as much, you know, advertising as we could before, we've been able to cut a bit on the print costs. All in all, we're better off. One of the earliest companies to use a blog is a, I can't remember his name, it's a sheet metal company in England, where the owner, deciding that people had the wrong idea of metal bashing, decided to set up a website called the Tin Bashers blog. And he didn't add to his advertising or anything like that, but he started writing his blog about his business, about the industry of bending metal, about you know, doing industrial metal bending and that sort of thing. Their sales went up 20% over the first 18 months that he had the blog. He hadn't done anything different with his advertising or marketing, but he was starting to attract people that were interested in that, and these were by and large industrial buyers of what he was selling. I mean, this is not the general community. These were people that were buying his products, and they were liking what they were reading because he wasn't advertising to them, he was talking about an interest, or a subject that interested them both. And we've got tons of examples of companies, both large and small, that do this. And actually, a lot of the innovative work in social media marketing is done by small businesses. The big businesses are full of lawyers. They're full of managers who believe they can control the message. They got to check it through legal first. We don't want to get on that Twitter thing. What if one of our employees said the wrong thing? Small business owners know there's only 2 or 3 people in the shop, and they're all ambassadors for the store.